If you have any questions, there is a chat function. So if you wanted to put any of your questions in the chat, we can definitely monitor that and make sure that your questions get answered. We'll make sure, Dr. Perry and I will make sure that the presenters hear your questions. And also, if you feel comfortable, you are more than welcome to unmute your mic and just kind of shout some stuff out. But again, just know that you will be recorded. So without further ado, I want to turn the presentation over to Miss O'Neill and Miss Gray this morning.
Hi, good morning. I'm Katie O'Neill, one of the school counselors. I work with students with last names that start with F through J. As Ms. Ponte said, thank you again for joining us this morning. Hopefully you have your breakfast, your coffee, and we do have a lot of important things to share with you. So the things we're going to be discussing today, so I just shared with you the introduction. We're going to talk about what it means to have a proactive senior year. We'll discuss the college option, trade school option, and we'll have some presenters, representatives from the military, apprenticeships, internships, and unions, and the workforce sharing information with you about those options. And then at the end, with the time remaining, we'll answer any kind of questions that you may have. So the whole purpose of this is just to give you some information, make sure that you and your child are on the same page as we move into their next phase of life. So yes, it's junior year, but senior year is going to come upon you and your child, and we want to make sure that you have all of the details, all of the information that you can to be able to walk alongside them and have that knowledge as well. We'll be meeting with juniors coming up in January, so this will be a good start for you parents and can initiate that conversation. We want to make sure that the planning process is starting now and that your child is making moves rather than just floundering when they get to senior year and trying to figure it out. So preparation is key to having that proactive senior year. So to start, one of the options is a four-year college or university. This is traditional schooling, just as students are doing now. They'll go to classes. It's formatted a little bit differently, you know, with the timing of the classes, the choice, the programs. There are targeted programs of study required for their future career. So this option is great for students who know what they want to major in, who know that the career requires of them to have this four-year college or university to require you to have that degree, a bachelor's, or to move on to the next step in master's or PhD or doctorate. Students get to experience being away from home. So whether they live on campus or if they're commuting, they still get that responsibility for their own learning, that experience to do things that they may not have done before. Students also learn self-management and advocacy skills. So their learning is their learning, and all of those options will follow suit, but they learn how to work together with their professors to manage their time as far as I need to be here at this time for my classes, and I don't have my parents waking me up and getting me to school. So things like that are what they'll be learning, and some of the benefits of that. So the important thing, what should my child be doing and when? So starting, you can even start now, but in general, June through October, explore some colleges, narrow down a list of colleges that your child will apply to in June and October. That list should be complete by October. It's important because some of the deadlines for four-year colleges and universities start on November 1st. So having that list narrowed down by October at the latest will be extremely helpful. Between September and January, students should be completing college applications, writing or revising essays, asking for letters of recommendation, following up with their counselors, with their admissions representatives about their status, and submitting their applications. So with that, September through January, keep an eye on those deadlines as far as when they need to submit those things. December through March, you and your child will complete the FAFSA. It opens, so this year, the date is December 31st. So that FAFSA is important for for children to get financial aid. And then another thing to get that financial aid is looking at and applying for scholarships. We here at Calvert High School, we provide resources, we email out scholarships, and provide as much information as we can so that students can get that financial aid. In April through June, that's when that choice is narrowed down. Whenever your child will select the four-year university that they want to go to. So arrange those campus tours if you already if you haven't been on a tour already. Review financial aid letters because that can be a big deciding factor for which college your child chooses to go to. Narrow those choices down and then finalize that college choice. Let them know, send that deposit by that deadline. Typically, it's around May 1st, but each school will have their own deadline.
Good morning, parents, and welcome again to our junior breakfast. We're so excited to have you this morning. My name is Mapri Gray, and I am one of the school counselors here at Calvert High School. I serve students with the last names R through Z. What can you expect when you are applying for college applications? The first thing that you can expect is for the applications to ask for your demographics, and that's basically your education, your employment, income, basic information that they will need to know for that application. The next thing that they'll want to know or need, your student will need, is a college essay. A lot of colleges don't require an essay, but you can start working with your child. Most of them do. You can start working with your child with the college essays this summer. They give options for different questions, anywhere from what can you offer this institution, why do you want to attend this college, that sort of thing. And some of them also ask additional questions. The next thing that you should expect is official transcripts, and of course your school counselor will provide that for you. It is a request, so we want to make sure that students know to be proactive when requesting transcripts, because of course we have tons of students who are doing the same thing, requesting transcripts. The next thing is letters of recommendation. Students can start now with identifying their favorite teacher, someone that they know or that knows them, so that they can start letting them know that they'd like them to write a letter of recommendation. A lot of colleges would require a school counselor to write a letter of recommendation. So the sooner that they can let us know, the better. The letter of recommendation is a request as well. It's information to fill out so that we can write a stellar letter of recommendation for them. It includes what they're doing for activities, some of their highlights in terms of their personality, different things like that. The last thing that we thought was important to let you know what to expect in terms of college applications are the platforms that we use to apply for colleges. And the most common ones are Common App, and it's basically one application that you can use to apply to several colleges. So that's one of the platforms that we use regularly, as well as the Common Black College application, and that's for those students who want to attend HBCUs. It's also one application for several colleges. And then you have the private schools. So we have private schools that you apply directly to the institution. In that case, you would contact the institution and see how they want to receive information. How do you support your child? This is very important because a lot of our students are not thinking about what they want to do. They don't know what they want to do. So one of the things that you can do as a parent is engage in conversation. Talk about their ideas of what they want to do after high school, what they're good at, what they're interested in. It could be union, the workforce, college. And then when you find out and open that discussion up, it's important to start researching with your child. So if it's an institution or a university, you might want to go on the website with them and kind of see what the requirements are, what their GPA is, so that they can know what the expectations of that university is. If it's work, you can check the workforce, salaries, different things like that. So just doing that research with your child is important. The next thing is scheduling visits. Like Ms. O'Neill said, it's important that you schedule those visits for college during that summer of their 11th grade year, going into their 12th grade year. That's a good time to look at colleges. We oftentimes have students who think they want to go to a university, but then when they do the college tour, it's not a right fit. So we always encourage students to do those college tours if they're planning to go to university, and vice versa. Some of them think that they like a college, but when they get there, you know, it's a good fit or not a good fit. So it's important to do that. They also offer virtual college tours as well. And then the last thing is planning, making sure that you have a checklist. I'm a checklist kind of person, so making sure that you have a checklist from the beginning of their 12th grade year, even earlier, like now, up until the end of their 12th grade year. If you need a plan, you can always go to your counselor. We can give you a checklist. In this presentation, there is a vague checklist that Ms. O'Neill went over as well. All right, and where do we start searching? We chose 3 websites that we work with often. One of them is collegeconfidential.com, and basically it's a college matchmaker. So if your student enters that they're interested in IT, they will match them with different colleges. So whatever the interest is, it's a good college matcher. It also gives you really detailed information about the university. So like the culture of the university, what stores, it even goes to like what stores are around the university, what the, basically what it would be like to attend that university. So it's a very good tool to use. The next website that we use often, and your students should have a College Board account right now, but we use that for students to check their SAT and ACT scores. It's also a college matching platform that we use, and they also provide a lot of scholarship information. So that's a good website to use as well. And then again, the college app is that one application that you can use for several universities. Next is college visits. We've had several college visits here at Calvert High School. So when those opportunities come around, it's important that your child think about attending those opportunities, because it is a up close and personal interaction with a university. A lot of times when the representatives come to Calvert High School, they're those representatives that actually look at the applications and accept students. So it's a good opportunity for students to be present and for them to see their faces, so that when they're applying, they may have a better chance of attending that university. And then finally, college fairs. We just had one at Northern High School. That's a great opportunity also to get up close and personal with universities and get information. And also we've had students get accepted on the spot during those college fair opportunities. So just look out for those opportunities. It's a great way for students to get information about a college. All right, so community colleges, as you know, is a 2-year affordable institution for students to begin their college careers. Some of the things that the community college offers are targeted programs of study, certificated programs, trade schools, and traditional schooling. So there's often classes that students can take where they can finish a course and get certificated. So it's not just going to school. They have a lot of things that they offer our students. The next thing is that they can transfer their credits to a four-year university. And this is often a economical way for students to get to that four-year university that they're interested in. Let's see, helpful students. It's also helpful for students who are unsure of their career path. So those kiddos, and we often have students who don't know what they want to do. So a community college is a great way for students to get the college experience and then find out what they want to do. And then finally, the financial benefits, of course, is much better than going directly to a university. A lot of our students opt to do community college and then, like I said, opt to a four-year university. We do have two programs that we will talk to our students in depth in regards to the high school level. We have a dual enrollment where students are able to take college level courses and get both high school and college credit for it. And we also have early college, and that's a program where students go directly to CSM and get college credit so that they're ahead of their peers when they go into the community college. And if you want to know more about that, you can always reach out to your counselor or your child's counselor. And these are just some of the programs that CSM offers. They offer arts and humanities, business and information systems, education and public service, health, science, technology, engineering, and math, and trade school, transportation, and energy. And this is just a few of the programs that they offer. We will give you a resource page so that you can see in depth what CSM offers.
All right, and then trade schools. So trade schools, they're targeted programs of study as well. You get that hands-on learning and work preparation. Some of these are continuations of what students may have learned at CTA, or it's the opportunity to study a new program. So what they do is they would get that training within the school system, or not school system, within the school. It's very similar to the CTA program, but it's those trades specific to their career pathway. So some examples include of trades: an electrician, carpenter, dental hygienist, phlebotomist, chef, HVAC technician, masonry, or a cosmetologist. So some schools are targeted for specific programs like culinary institutes or cosmetology schools, but other trade schools have various different types of trades offered. CSM does offer some of these trade programs, so that's something to look into, but specifically some schools have the focused areas. Some of the examples of trade schools in our area or close to our area. So the Temple is a Paul Mitchell school, different occupations within cosmetology, Lincoln College of Technology, Universal Technical Institute, North American Trade School, UA Mechanical Trade School, the Culinary Institute of America, which is in Maryland, but it's a huge culinary institute that several students choose to go to. Or at CSM or other community colleges. If CSM doesn't offer a program, there are several other community colleges that have different programs. So trade school is another option for students to consider. All right, so the next portion of our presentation, we have some of our recruiters, our military recruiters. We have joining us Staff Sergeant Stewart from the United States Army and Sergeant Resch from the United States Marine Corps. So I'm going to let them take it away with their information.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Stewart. I'm the station commander for Prince Frederick Army Recruiting Station. So pretty much everything you just heard, great information, and I want to thank everybody for having us on. So first I want to talk about the Army has 150 different career opportunities. Your child and you would sit in my office after I get them qualified, and they will select a job that they qualify for. Those jobs are all ACE accredited. Some of them end up earning civilian certifications. Like me, I'm a certified welder. I'm certified with the American Welding Society, and I'm a machinist. And I'm also certified on making things out of pretty much fabrication out of metal. So those were paid for by the Army. And trained by the Army. I didn't pay for any of that. I have my bachelor's degree from Post University in business management, also paid for by the Army. So the Army does have what's called a CONAP program, which is concurrent admission program. So it will help you get into a 4-year university in all 50 states. So we have like over 1,900 different schools that you can actually attend while you're working your way through college in the Army. We also do Army Reserves here, and I'm working 4 people in Calvert County, 1 actually at Calvert High School. Currently a senior that is working towards getting an ROTC scholarship. Those are all things that the Army can offer, and we do here in my office. Lastly, tuition assistance is available immediately after finish your initial training. So your child would not have to wait until they're done their service to start going to college. So basically, as soon as they're done their initial training, they get to their first unit, they can actually start taking college classes online through the CONAP program for free. Penn State, Purdue, culinary school, all those schools offer are partnered with the United States Army when it comes to those things. Next slide, please. So while they're in, if they decide to go active duty and not do the ROTC or reserves, it's a full-time paid job. They get full health benefits. They get 30 days a year off, all holidays off, unlimited sick time. They have 401k with a blended 40% pension if they stay in all 20 years. They get free housing and food on post. The next slide is going to show what their housing looks like, parents. So I know you guys are worried about, and my baby, make sure that they're going to have a decent room, but it's actually more spacious than my daughter's dorm room. Your child will get a chance to travel, and if it's some of them will actually get the option when they're choosing their jobs, whether they want to go to a special field, airborne, ranger, or pick their first duty station. Next slide. All right, so this is what a typical day would be like if they decided to go active duty. That was the picture to the right is what a single soldier's barracks room looks like. So they're not sharing a room or bedroom with a roommate. It's basically a 2-bedroom apartment where they both have their own bedrooms, a full kitchen, and a full bathroom. The common area they share, but their bedrooms are locked, so no one can get in except for the person with the key. Their day starts at 6:30 with a unit PT. So we salute the flag, we work out for an hour. Then from 7:30 to 9, personal hygiene, breakfast, you change into your work uniform. Depending on what job they choose, whether it's computers or whatever, they go to work doing that job from 9:30 to 1:30. They get an hour-and-a-half lunch break, and then they resume their job and get off at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock is normally pretty late. We tend to get off between 4 and 4:30. There's normally not a final formation or a release. We normally release you straight from your job. So after that, they put on their civilian clothes and do whatever they decide they want to do, whether it's taking classes after, or going to the skate park, or going to the movies, or bowling alley, or whatever it is, play video games, which a lot of them tend to do right now. So those are all the different options that the Army has. And I agree with all the kids that I'm working scholarships for. They already are accepted to their university. I've already gotten them accepted into a ROTC program at that university. These are things that started, my daughter took her first SAT, ACT, the fall of her junior year, and her second, the spring of her junior year. We did college visits early senior year, and she had all of her early decision applications in by October. By January, we knew what college she was going to. And same thing with the seniors I'm working with now. getting them scholarships, they know that they're already accepted. And now only thing I have to do is get them qualified for that ROTC scholarship. The ROTC scholarship is a 4-year scholarship, and it's $20,000 a year for all 4 years. So it is a pretty hefty chunk. My information is on the first slide. So if you want to contact me and ask me more questions, then feel free. I'm just here as a resource and an asset to Calvert County Schools. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and give up my chair for Sergeant Resch.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Sergeant Resch. I represent the United States Marine Corps. I'll be here for the next 3 years in Calvert County. And I guess my slide didn't make the cut, but I'll just kind of go over a lot of things that the Army offers, the Marine Corps also offers. So we do have active duty and a reserve component. So what that is, active duty is more of like a full-time job. So that's what the traditional idea of the military is, where you serve 4 to 6 years and you go to a duty station, you get the full-time medical and dental benefits that come along with it. You get a comprehensive retirement plan that will match up to your contribution up to 5%. So if you put in 5%, you're getting 10% of your monthly paycheck that goes straight to your retirement that you'll get at 65. You can pull it out sooner. Even if you do 4 years or 20 years, you can pull it out sooner, but there's like heavy fees and penalties that come along with that. An additional thing that you'll gain from active duty is you're going to get a lot more experience in your job field because you're doing it every day. So whatever job field that you get put into, and then whatever the job that school actually gets you as the individual, you're going to be doing on-the-job training. You're going to get an actual like formal school. The schools can range from a month to 6 months long. Sometimes in the aviation field can go up to about a year long. And after you do your initial school and you're working your job, there's advanced schools that further your training and get you further certifications. And those opportunities are provided to that individual based off performance and just asking about the opportunities while they're serving their tour. Then there's the reserves. As far as the reserves, it's usually a 6-year contract. What comes along with that 6-year contract is actually $4,500 annually to go to a school, so they could go, stay home. It's like a part-time job. They could go to CSM. They could go to any kind of school that they can get accepted to. They'll be working 2 days out of the month and 2 weeks out of summer. That's about a total of 180 days over that 6-year period that they're actually going to be working with the military. They still go to recruit training. They still get the formal job training, but they're just kind of like a part-time thing, so they can focus and just get the education that they need. If they do 20 years in reserves, they'll get a pension at 65 that matches based off of their rank and everything that they've earned while being in the reserves. Something that my wife personally did through the reserves is she went to Embry-Riddle, got an engineering degree, and she was able, because of her security clearance and being in the military, was able to work for Patuxent before she even got her degree finished up as an aerospace engineer for the test pilot school. And now they're going to pay for her to further her degree through their internship program as well. A lot of people kind of lean towards the reserves. If they kind of want to stay home, there's always an opportunity to go from the reserves to active duty or from active duty to the reserves. As far as paychecks, promotability, and longevity, if you do want to do 20 years or 4 years, it doesn't necessarily matter, but you have a pretty high chance of being able to continue a 20-year career in the Marine Corps. Like, you're not going to get forced out. We can actually meritorious promote, so that's automatically promoting individuals up to E7, which is unique to us. And those people that get those meritorious promotions are people that excel at their jobs, and that's for the reserves and active duty. At one point, everybody's going to get out, so it's kind of like what comes along with the benefits of getting out. Whether you do 4 years, 10 years, or 13 years, like I plan to do, you're going to have the VA home loan, which is a zero down, low interest loan to actually be able to get a house, and it's competitive with the area that your zip code you base it off. You can actually use a loan, a VA business loan. So if an individual got a degree in business, or they have aspirations to open a business, they can start up a business with the VA business loan. And then additionally, you always have the VA benefits, because being in our profession, it does take a little bit of a toll on your body. That's all taken into consideration, and you can be compensated up to $3,700 for the rest of your life based off of your disability that you rate after your time. Finally, the same thing applies. We have tuition assistance even for active duty. It's the same $4,500 annually that you can use. And what that's going to do for you is pretty much allow you, like, even while you're in, say you get a job field that you're not necessarily what you want to do when you get out, you can focus and still get to where you want to go by the time you get out. And all you need is a command endorsement to get that tuition assistance. So as soon as you finish all your training and you get the command endorsement, which I've never seen anybody get denied, they just want to make sure that you as an individual understand that you just have to maintain a C and that you're actually going to take it serious and take care of the classes, because it's on them as an individual to complete those classes, because they still have to do their job and still have to be a Marine. And then lastly, as far as everybody's education is, when you get out of active duty, you get what's called a 911 GI Bill. You can go to a school in your area. It can be university, it could be going to CSM. And as long as you attend one class in person, you could rate your basic housing allowance. So this is after you're out. You go to school for 4 years, you have a roof over your head. So maybe they don't want to live with mom and dad, or maybe they do. They can pocket the BEH for that particular area as long as they're going to one class in person up until they finish their degree. Right now, the BEH for Calvert County is about $2,700. As far as contacting me and getting in touch with me throughout the year, I might call you guys as the parents through their senior year. I'll just ask questions, see what their future plans are, make sure they got a good plan. But you can get me on Google through the Calvert County Recruiting Office. I have an Instagram. Everything's out up here. But you can definitely get my information from the guidance counselors too as well. I appreciate your time, and I thank you again, Calvert County, for giving me this opportunity to speak to you guys today.
Thank you, Staff Sergeant Stewart and Sergeant Resch. That's really good information. We appreciate you coming as well. Next, we'll have Miss Michelle McGuffin, and she will be talking to us a little bit about apprenticeships, internships, and unions.
Good morning, everyone. I am the work-based learning specialist for Calvert County Public Schools, and so I handle apprenticeships and internships for all of the high schools. And then I also work out of the CTA, which is how I know a lot about the different union information. You can go ahead and go one more. So for Apprenticeship Maryland, this is a learn and earn opportunity for our students. Youth can start working during their senior year. They receive supervised, structured, on-the-job training from someone in a local business that will be their mentor. Students work a minimum of 450 hours. And they receive related educational training either through high school programs, CSM, or other, or within the business that they're working. Go ahead. So what are the most important things to know about AMP, which is a Apprenticeship Maryland program? Students will apply in the spring of their junior year. They must complete a minimum of 450 hours, and those hours start to accumulate the summer before their senior year. So a lot of students can get several hundred hours in during that time, and then they work during their senior year. Most students need to have either their math or their English at their home high school. They take 2 periods and then they can leave. I have students that start work at 9:30, 10 o'clock and work till 2, 3 in the afternoon. So you really have to make sure you have your schedule available to be able to do that. AMP is also a pathway to graduation. Students accumulate 3 credits for the apprenticeship program and then 1 credit towards their related instruction. And the goal of the program is that the student is offered full-time employment at the end of the apprenticeship. So they have done a really good job, and the company has an opening, and they are guaranteed a job then when they graduate. Can move on. So on this slide, these are the available apprenticeships we have right now. And just to make you aware, not every job is apprenticeable, meaning the company has to go through a Department of Labor to be approved. So it's not like a student can come up and say, I really want to do this. I want to work as a tattooist. That's not going to happen only because tattoo places don't have apprentices where they get paid. But these are the ones that we have available right now. So it's everything from an auto technician to teaching. We work with SMECO. We have hospitality, marine trades. In the approval process right now is a landscaping company, and they're going to start off with someone in their machine shop. And then they're looking to like have botany available and things like that. We're looking to get IT approved and some graphic social media. So I have a scan code. If you want to take that, that takes you directly to our page, and that gets updated every time someone new is that is new comes on. And when positions are filled, we also add that on there. Okay, next slide, please. So what are the steps to become a youth apprenticeship? This starts in the spring. My plan is in January, I think I have a day scheduled to come in and speak to juniors. The career advisor at Calvert High is going to help arrange that. And I'll come in and talk about apprenticeships and internships to students. At that time, I'll let them have them a link available. They'll complete an interest form for me. They have an initial interview with me, and then they'll complete an application process, resume, and cover letter. Those things get submitted to the apprenticeship business. And here's the big thing with apprenticeship. The student is hired by the company. So they go through their interview process. If they require drug tests, background checks, all those things are done by the hiring company. So the student has to have a good interview with them. Next, I'm going to talk about the internship program. We can move on. So what do you need to know about internships or shadowing experiences? This application time frame is about the same as apprenticeship. We're going to start that in the spring, February through May of their junior year. I do cut off internship applications on May 1st because students normally do these internships over the summer. And so I need a month or so to get all the businesses on board. Internships are 50 hours for one elective credit. So most students can get that done in a month over the summer. They're in varied occupations. So unlike apprenticeship where there's approved companies through the Department of Labor, for internships, it can be almost anything a student wants, except I need to be able to find a business that is local that can handle that. So for example, I have a good relationship with the court system. And so the students have been able in the past to internship with the state's attorney's office. Past 2 years have not been able to have that happen due to it hasn't been approved for their budget to have them hired. So things like that we have to really work on. I always say if a student has something that they're interested in and they can come to the interview process knowing what they want to do and have a company in mind that maybe they've already talked to, that is really helpful because then I have someone I can speak to and see if that company is willing to take on an intern for the summer. They'll need a resume, reliable transportation, and complete an interview with me. Oh, I do want to say, I'm sorry, I did miss something on one of the apprenticeship slides. Reliable transportation. We cannot have students that cannot make it to the job. They have to be able to drive themselves because we've definitely had times where parents said they could take them, but then obviously their jobs take precedence over their student's job and the student was unable to get to work when he was scheduled. Sorry, I forgot about that on apprenticeship. But back to internships, reliable transportation, that can be you or someone in the family because it's only for 50 hours and most of the students are able to work their time since they're doing a lot of shadowing. For our internships, they also complete an interview with me, and I will provide the counselors and students that have already shown me some interest with the link to start that process with me. Okay, next slide. So what we'll do is for internships, complete an application, have an interview with me. They need to complete a resume, and the parent-student information packet needs to be signed and submitted back to me. I do not start reaching out to businesses until I have those two pieces because if a student doesn't turn it in and I've worked with a business, they're like, where's my intern? I'm like, they never completed the process. So they need to complete that process before I start looking for a place for them. And then I'll make the introduction from the student and the mentor, and they'll work out a schedule. Next slide. If you have any questions, there's my email address, my phone number. It's probably best to try email because I do teach, so I'm not always at my desk. And then again, I have the scan code that goes to the apprenticeship page. And then once we have the links up for the spring, the internship information will be there. All right, so we're going to move on to talk about unions and apprenticeship schools. The most popular unions for here are iron workers, plumbers and gas fitters, elevator, the electrical union, SMART, which is sheet metal, air, rail, and transport, and then steam fitters. So I'm going to go quickly through these. Just know that you need to probably look up each union as your child says they're interested in it. And at the end, I have a slide where all the resources, all the links for the local unions will be for you because each union is a little different. The bricklayers and allied craft workers, their process is fill out a contact us and you go to the next steps. They'll fill out a application. The requirements are 18. You have to have a high school diploma, valid driver's license, reliable transportation, and birth certificate or passport. It's a 3 to 4 year program, depending how quickly you can get things done. And there is pre-job training available. Move on to the next one. So local 5 iron workers, you need to be able to lift heavy things, deal with heights and weather conditions. These are the folks that are building the skyscrapers and starting with the structure itself. So they are hanging over, large buildings, walking on those steel supports. So you need to make sure that you have not a fear of heights. They take applications the second Monday of every month at 7 a.m. And this is the one union that when you go in with that application, they give you a written exam that day, and you have to be prepared to take a physical abilities test. So I usually tell students to dress nice for their interviews and taking their applications up. On this one, you want to wear your work boots, jeans, t-shirt. You want to be able to be ready to take that physical abilities test. Again, most of the unions require you to be 18 years old. Some of them allow you to apply when you're 17 and start the process. They all need a high school diploma, driver's license. The iron workers say they need to have proof of transportation to make sure you're going to get to your job. Classes are scheduled in 2-week blocks. So when they're going to apprenticeship school, they work 2 weeks, they go to school 2 weeks. Then they could go to work a month and then they go for 2 weeks again. So it's a different type of apprenticeship program, but they get paid while they're doing this. And it's a 5-year program. I think we're missing one. There should be a local 5. I'll speak to that. Local 5, which is plumbing and gas fitters. And that is Let me think about this. So that one is a 5-year program also, and I know this one because my son's in it, so I gotta just get my thoughts together. They accept, no, it's not that one. There, sorry. There's a local 5 that's plumbers and gas fitters, and that one, they have school 1 day a week, and then their first 3 years, they work 4 days, go to school 1 day. The last 2 years, they go to night school, so they're working 5 days, go to night school. They allow you to apply when you're 17. They have an open enrollment, so you can go on their website now and apply. And then they also have the other same requirements: high school diploma, driver's license, birth certificate. All right, we can move on to local 10, the elevator. This one is you need physical strength, work in confined spaces. This is probably the hardest union to get into. They don't have openings very often. They had openings that they opened up in October, and in my 3 years here, that's the first time I've had the elevators open up. So it's a hard one to get into. And you have to, if that's what you're interested in, you have to check that website every month, because that's the only way you're really going to know when they have openings. All right, next one is Local 26, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, or IBU. And this is the one thing for this one: you have to be able to distinguish colors. You cannot be colorblind, because electricians work with coded electrical wires, yellow, red, blue, green, and so you have to be able to determine those. This one, you need to open up a trade school account, so you'll go on to their website and you need to open up that trade school account. And their deadline to apply is March 31st. So that's for September 24. So next year, I'm going to assume it's going to be about the same time frame. And again, they have, 18 years old, high school diploma, copy of transcripts, driver's license, birth certificate. One thing for them is they definitely put on their website that they drug test. I think most of the unions do, and that they have a large amount of people that apply. So they do testing and then interview scores, and those are ranked. All right, Local 100 SMART, which is sheet metal, air, rail, and transportation. That application is open year round. New classes start every 3 months. Classroom instruction is 1 day every 2 weeks, and it's a 5-year program. Next one. Local 602, which is actually steam fitters, not plumbers and gas fitters. This is where they're working in tight spaces. They are doing duct work and different things like that for large buildings. This is one that if your student is interested in, you need to be aware. They have a very early application. They keep it open for 30 days. So next year, November 1st through November 30th. That's what it's been the last 2 years. So I'm going to assume they're going to keep it at that. It's an online application, and they need to turn in their documentation in person. So they want to see who's applying. They have a math test that needs to be passed, and then an interview. And so most of them, it's high school diploma, driver's license, all of that. And then the next one is Mid-Atlantic Carpenters Training. This is you attend an information session before applying. So you go on to the website and sign up for that. And that's how their application works. They do have an information session in January. So if your student thinks that they might be interested in the Carpenters Training Center, they could go and see what it's like during that information center session. So some common factors for all unions: no cost schooling. Math competency is important. Almost every union has some sort of testing, and math is a big thing. You need to have construction math, know how to work with fractions and things like that, because we don't want pipes and our framing to be off kilter. It's union provided training through their apprenticeship schools. Their physical jobs, each one has a different thing where you might have to work with heights, you might have to be in confined spaces. Early hours. So, construction workers are on site at 5, 6 a.m. So your student has to be ready to go, leave the house sometimes at 4 a.m. Pay scales are known up front for unions. They are all slightly different, but once you get hired and go to union school, after 6 months, you get a raise. Every 6 months, they're giving you a raise. So you know what you're going to be making up front. They have excellent benefits, medical and retirement. Something people don't always know is that students that finish their union apprenticeship schools have college credits, almost to a associate's degree. So I know when my son graduates, he said he has to take 2 more classes and he'll have an associate's degree. So that's one thing that I really think people don't understand about unions, is that the classes they take do go to work towards college credits. All right, that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McGuffin, for sharing such great information. You are awesome. We appreciate you. Thank you. Next, we'll have Mr. Salorm Ajli, and he will be talking about careers after high school. Take it away, Salorm.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is Salam Agli, and I am a business engagement specialist with Tri-County Council for South Maryland. And part of my job is to connect job seekers with employees here within our local region. As far as in Calvert County, the major employers include the local government, Exelon, Calvert Health Medical Center, ACT of South Maryland, and also Dominion. Now, most of the top paid occupations are heavily concentrated in the healthcare and professional industry. However, there are career opportunities also available in construction and retail and hospitality. So after graduation, next slide, please. So after graduation, the Occupational Outlook Handbook is a great resource for career guidance. Now, the handbook includes information about the nature of work, working conditions, training and education, and also provides outlooks for hundreds of different occupations in the United States. It is released biannually, and also it is free of charge and available to everyone. If you scan the QR code on the page, you can learn more about the handbook and also occupations as well. Next slide. Now, the handbook also provides information on the fastest growing occupation within the country. And as you can see, it ranges from a wind turbine technician as the fastest growing currently to veterinary assistants and lab animal caretakers. It also provides information about the salary available as well. And these are I believe about a 10-year projections, on those occupations also. Next slide, please. Now, as I mentioned, a lot of or top paying occupations are concentrated in the professional, scientific, technical services here in our region. However, IT and cybersecurity are also a major component of that. And to help navigate those career opportunities, you have a tool called from cyberseek.org that provides an interactive career pathway map. And it offers key jobs within cybersecurity, common transition opportunities between them, and also a detailed information about salaries, credentials, and skill set associated with those roles as well. So I strongly recommend that you check out the interactive pathway to learn more about those feeder roles and how it transitions into the major roles as well. Now, besides other career opportunities available, apprenticeship opportunities are offered through an employer or a program sponsor. Now, apprenticeship is a system for training new generations of practitioners of a trade or profession with on-the-job training. It also helps apprentices gain a license to practice in a regulated occupation as well. Now, students can learn while earning when they are in the apprenticeship program, and also to find more information about Maryland apprenticeships and also training programs and services. Please visit the link that is provided in the chat section as well. And that, I believe that should be all from me. And if anyone has any questions, we can discuss that later. Thank you.
Thank you, Salorm. Thank you very much. Next, we'll have Grace Fadley, and she'll be discussing workforce during and after high school.
Kathy McAdams, are you there? Okay, hold on 1 second.
I'm here.
Would you mind presenting?
Yep, sure. Good morning, everybody. I'm Kathy McAdams. I'm the Business Retention Specialist for Calvert County Economic Development. And we do a lot of work with the schools. I work with Ms. McGuffin at the CTA, placing students for job opportunities. And we just wanted to talk about the importance of actually considering a career during and after high school. There is a large need for students to come into the workforce. As a parent of a senior this year from Calvert High School, I can resonate with a lot of the things that we just talked about today. And I will also say that the senior year goes by so quickly. So thinking about it now is the right thing to do. So next slide, please. One of the things that we wanted to talk about was being kind of like having your student or your child think about what they're really good at, what they think that they might want to do. There are tests that they can take. I know that CSM has them. And another important thing is interviewing and attending job fairs. Salorm does at Tri-County Council have job fair listings, and his information will be shared. So just going and kind of practicing, seeing what's out there, just putting students out there and seeing what they want to do and consider giving it some thought. Let's see. Oh, another big thing is cleaning up their social media accounts. So employers will go in and look to see what is on their social media, especially their, if they have a Facebook account or anything like that. So having them go in and maybe tweak that a little bit, or the parent going in and looking to see what's out there as well. I guess next slide, please. We encourage students to try different jobs. Maybe if it's just babysitting, dog walking, part-time positions. These are things that they can put on their college application, and maybe creating a LinkedIn account. This way, if they're looking for jobs, they can put it on their resume. When Grace and I go to high schools and talk to students, they're not really sure what to put on a resume. So even small things like I said, like if you're babysitting, or if you're doing something with your school that is an extracurricular activity. Let's see, you can go to the next slide. There are free resources to creating a resume. We have actually come into the high school and have worked with students to start helping them with preparing resumes, and there's free templates. There's some links on here. There's actually good resources out there for high school students that are looking for resume templates. And I think that these slides will be shared with the parents. So they are clickable links if you want to start working with your student, or if you need help. I will say, I think if you advance the slide, we actually have local resources. So this is an actual template of some things to start thinking about what students can put on their resumes, what resumes might want to look like, what employers are looking for. Even if the business is letting students come in and do like interviews, having a resume ready to hand to the employer shows that the student is being proactive and interested in the position. You can go to the next slide. One of the important things that I did want to highlight is knowing the rules of employment. In January of 2024, the minimum wage will be increasing to $15. I'm sorry, yeah, to $15 an hour across the board, meaning even if employees have less than 15 employees now, they will be having to pay students $15 an hour. Also, being proactive about asking for work permits ahead of time is important. Once again, the link is here. If students are under the age of 18, they will be required to have a work permit. Next slide. I think that's all of my slides that I have. But I just wanted to add that economic development is here. We work with Salorum, I work with Miss McGuffin. We do a lot of things, boots on the ground. We work with the businesses trying to find students. So if any of the parents need help with what employers are looking for or how to get them to where they might want to be, or any information, Grace and I are more than happy to provide resources and chat with you one-on-one. So thank you for allowing us time to speak today.
All right, thank you so much for speaking to our families about the workforce. A couple of resources. So we have a career advisor, Miss Marion Boyle, who meets with students in order to talk with them about their career choices, do interest inventories, provide them with resources. So she's a great asset to our school for students who need some guidance, some assistance with their career opportunities. So she helps with research, providing them resources, and offering the resume writing and interviewing skills. She's a support with that. We also have, we partner with Chesapeake College Plan. Ms. Kidwell is our CHS representative. She'll actually be presenting in one of the later junior breakfasts. So she has additional information, but what she does is she meets with students and helps them with the college search, college applications, scholarships, and FAFSA. She's here at CHS on Tuesdays from 12 to 1:30 and Wednesdays from 9:45 to 11. She can have some group sessions or has met with students individually in the guidance office to provide some additional guidance for their applications. We also, if you want to make an appointment with her, you can go to that link, or you can also email collegeplan.mk@gmail.com or see the school counselor for a referral. We're in contact with her very frequently, so we can provide her information and help students get an appointment. Great, great, great resource for students who are interested in applying to college and need some extra help.
And then along with that, we wanted to make sure that we offer you all of the resources that you've heard today, because I know it was a lot of information, but we do have links that you can go back with your child to go over. This is the union website link. So everything that Ms. McGuffin talked about, there's links to it so that you can get that good information. Next slide. And then for CSM, we also have a website for CSM to kind of look and see what they have to offer, look and see if you would like to do the dual enrollment program or early college program. The information is all there, as well as a detailed list of those programs that we kind of touched on today. And also a job search resource page that we're offering for summer jobs. Any of our students who want to go directly into the workforce, this is a good resource page for them. And then this one last resource page is for to keep up to date with all of the local resources that we have here in Calvert County. The library, the workforce exchange, Tri-County, along with the economic development. So those are all be updated and it's there for you. And more information about the economic development where you can contact our presenters directly. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. We want to make sure that we thank all of our presenters. You guys did an awesome job. You were so willing to work with us, so we really appreciate you. Again, all of this information will be sent to you via email, so you'll have it right at your fingertips. So we're going to take this time to have general questions. But before that, I want to recognize all of the contact information or the presenters that we had today. Ms. O'Neill, of course, is a school counselor here. Myself is a school counselor here at Calvert High School. Michelle McGuffin is our work-based learning specialist. Kathy Adams, she's from the Department of Economic and Development, along with Grace Fadley and Salorm. And Miss Boyle is not here today. She wasn't able to be here today, but she's our career advisor. And then Miss Kidwell. She's also a career or a college planning advisor that we have here at Calvert High School. All of their emails are there if you want to reach out to them. Now we're going to reserve space for general questions. So if you have a question, now's your time.
And again, for your questions, you are more than welcome to put them in the chat. We'll read them from there. Or if you feel comfortable and confident, we love to hear and see you. So feel free to turn off those mics and shout out your questions. We have
Jordan,
a question.
Larry.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Hi, good morning. I was just wondering, sorry I got on late. I didn't have the link, but when you have college visits, how are the students notified that the colleges are coming to the school, and how far in advance notice do they receive that notification?
Sure. So with college visits, we didn't have too many this year. They took place during Fridays during cab time, or they were on at lunch tables. But students are notified through morning announcements, through emails, and then there's a calendar. We only had a few this school year. We're hoping to have more next school year. And then the way that it'll work is they'll sign up for that visit unless the representative is coming to the lunch shifts. But they'll sign up and then they'll get a pass to go to the visit to meet with the admissions representative. So they receive emails. They also are on the morning announcements for students to be able to sign up.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have any other questions? If not, you can go ahead and make sure if you have questions and you just forget to, sometimes when you're in a meeting, you forget and you remember later, you can always reach out to your counselor. We're here for you. We want all of your questions answered. So make sure if you have any questions just to reach out. Our next junior breakfast will be January the 11th at the 7:30 on Teams, similar to the way we're doing it today. It will be ran by Dr. Perry and Mrs. Ponte, who are two of the counselors here at Calvert High School. And they'll be talking about SAT and ACT. They'll be giving you information about that, which is really important information. You will have to register So we also provided that registration link, and we will get it to you when we send you out this email or this presentation. So thank you very much. You guys have a great day, and we're excited for your senior year. Thank you. Have a
Thank you
good
for attending.